Greetings, this is the Gifted Soul Tarot. I'm going to be doing a career reading from the 12th to the 19th of April. Uncertain times with the coronavirus and jobs, I think. So let's see what you can see for Capricorn souls for career. Welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications on my videos as I post. See what we have for Capricorn souls. Call on my spirit guide, Swami. If you can help me with messages for Capricorn. So let's see what messages we have for Capricorn for career. Call on my spirit guides. Thank you. Messages for Capricorn. Thank you. What's the outcome for Capricorn? All Capricorn souls for career. I'm looking for one card. Thank you. Now the overall energy here is the Three of Staffs. So Three of Staffs is the overall energy for career for Capricorn souls. So it speaks of going through adversity, going through career ups and downs, but sailing through with no problem. You've got the eye of God on you. Have a look at that, the eye in the boat. You'll see that eye. That's the eye of God. So you've been looked after. The universe is watching over you. And underneath that we've got the card of Temperance. Right now. So on the career side, I see for the Capricorn, all the Capricorn souls, we've got the Emperor. This is a strong card. This is a very stable card. Just take a look at that. That's the Emperor. It's he's got his feet firmly on the ground. He's very stable. He knows what he wants, and he knows how to get it. Okay, that's the Emperor energy, and it speaks of stability, as I say, stability in terms of your career. You're not going anywhere in a hurry. You can see the eagle there, and that speaks of truth. So I think, during these uncertain times, you're stable. Your Capricorn souls are stable in themselves. You're not going anywhere, and you're waiting to see this coronavirus scare through. Excuse me. So that's where we're at the minute. Strong foundation. Still standing upon what you believe in, still speaking your truth, in the midst of adversity, you're still going forth and you sturdy, and your throat chakra's open, and you're going with the flow, as I say. You know, not too much. You're standing firm, as Capricorns do. Now, factors against your career. We've got the Ten of Pentacles energy. Okay, this is factors against the career, but this speaks of, it's the Pentacles, so it speaks of money. It speaks of a completed cycle in terms of your finances, and it speaks of wealth, but it speaks of looking at wealth through greedy eyes, I'd say. Okay, it's looking at wealth through greedy eyes. In that, so much so that you can't see the wood for the trees. You can't see anything else but wealth. You know how to make money, that's for sure. There's no doubt about it. You're stable and sturdy in terms of your money. You know where you're at. You know, Capricorns are very, I'm not going to say they're frugal, they're very generous people, but I think when push comes to shove, they like to have their money situation in order. So at the moment, at the present moment, yeah, the factors against the career is money, and I think it is a concern for all of us, especially for Capricorns at this stage, because I know how they are so in tune with their finances, in terms of investments, in terms of salary, in terms of being methodical and paying what you ought to pay, and moving forward, and having a comfortable stream of money coming through, especially for your family, so you can take care of your family, take care of your finances, take care of your commitments. I think that's what it's all about. I think that's the scare here. And at the moment now, with this coronavirus and the lockdown being what it is, I think there's a lot of folk are really perturbed about the work situation. You know, as I say, you can't see the wood for the trees because you're worried. I mean, it's a bother for everyone, but I know how much it concerns Capricorns. So that's where we're at, and that's factors against the career, and we know this already. I mean, most folk are under pressure at the moment. So many folk have been laid off, and it's uncertain times, I'd say. You know, with this pandemic, it's affecting the whole nation. You know, it's not just a few, but it's affecting all of us, whatever way you want to look at it. And then, of course, if we look at the past influences, we've got the Lover's card here. Okay. Right. Now, this speaks of, in a career reading, it'll speak of the people that are close to you. Okay. So I'm going to say, you know, in this instance, it's definitely your significant other. Okay. And your significant other's been weighing heavily on your mind, especially now in terms of the career and in terms of, you know, what we're going through with the coronavirus. It's a worry, it's a bother. You're worried about your family, you're worried about your significant other, you're worried about perhaps it's someone you're seeing. It could be a fiance, it could be him or her. You know, it's not masculine or feminine, but I just want to say it's a collective. So yes, you know, we've got all these factors that are weighing heavily upon us, and we're saying some of you want to get married, you want to get engaged, you want to sort of like seal the relationship, but we've got this, you know, this money factor hanging over our head, and this money factor is against our career, you know, at the moment, especially with the pandemic being what it is. So yeah, I think family at this time, and significant other. Others too, Capricorns, you know, we sort of like uncertain. It's an uncertain time for all of us, and you know, we're worried. How can we not be worried? Again, we've got the stability card, okay, and that's for future. So it tells us that, you know, there is stability here, and our career is going to be stable. You know, I think we're just going through this worry now, and once we pass this pandemic, once we pass this lockdown, I think things are going to start to stabilize. Okay, I know at the moment we can't see our way clear, and you know, it's a concern, but here it does speak of, no matter what the situation is, the Nine of Cups, it's stable. Your path is stable, your path is open, and it's clear, and it is stable. Okay, this is the future we speak of. Okay, so I don't think there must be too much emphasis placed on what if. Okay, what now? Because, you know, there is stability. There definitely is stability for Capricorns. So I'm just going to say, hold it out. Let's see this phase through. We can't do much else. You know, we'll just have to go with the flow and see how things, you know, see the course of events as it pans out. But I don't think that should be too much of a bother for you. Just take it easy and, you know, just have faith. You know where you are in your business. You know that you're a worker. Capricorns are hard workers. Okay, they don't falter, especially not in business, especially not in career. If you're a white-collar employee and you're working for an employee, you know what? You'll stand tall because your work will speak for you. Your how can I say it? Your reputation will precede you because that's who Capricorns are. They're very determined people, and they out of all the star signs, they work damn hard. So I don't think there's too much of a bother in terms of, you know, our stability. But then if we look on the course of action side, we've got the Eight of Coins. Now the Eight of Coins speaks of us plodding on, doing what we do best, you know, keeping up with what we have to do, keeping up with our responsibilities. Now this could be, you know, if you're working from home, you know, you're keeping up with what you need to keep up with. If you've got a business, you know what, you're still answering mails, you're still, you know, making those telephone calls, you're still taking care of your staff, and you're still trying to keep the, you know, the steering in place. You're steering the ship, and there is direction. So, you know, and you're sturdy, there's some form of stability about you. So, you know, your course of action is good. It's on track, you know. As I say, that's who you are. That's who Capricorn is. Your people, and I spoke of the white collar employee that works for an establishment, and strange enough, this is him. Okay, you can see the salt card, the symbol of salt above his head, and it's a Three of Pentacles. He's doing what he ought to do. He's, you know, taking control. He's keeping his foot on the pedal, and he's not faltered. He's going forth. He's doing what he does best, and yeah, he's hard at work. Nothing's going to deter him. You know, he keeps his eyes on the ball. He's, you know, looking out for his for the end result, and the end result is to achieve and to work hard and to please the people that he works for. Okay, and in business, it's to please the customers that have been loyal to him or her. So, you know, that's where we're at the minute, and that's how we're looking in terms of people. You know, and then on the outcome, we've got the Nine of Staffs. Okay, and we're putting an awful lot of energy into our outcome. We know that there's a bother here. We know that we're worried about the future. We're worried about, you know, what the economy, you know, the pandemic, the effect the pandemic's going to have on the economy. And this is a bother. And we're sort of like tapping into all our, how can I say, whatever's around us, whatever we can tap into, you know, whether it's phoning our financial, you know, advisor, whether it's, you know, calling to check on our investments and to check on our provident fund and our pension fund and see, you know, exactly what we can get out and, you know, how this has impacted us in terms of our career and in terms of, you know, at the end of the day, you know, what we want to save and what we want to, you know, our nest egg, put it that way. So we at a stage now that we are so involved, and I think all the Capricorns are really concerned. It's weighing heavily upon the Capricorns, and you're putting an awful lot of energy into, you know, thinking about the outcome. You know, what will happen, what if, you know, and it's a genuine concern, okay? But I don't think you've got too much to be concerned about, because, as I say, Capricorns are hard workers, and businessmen, they're hard working businessmen, and that I know. I mean, anyone knows, if they know the star signs, Capricorn are go-getters. Pardon me. Right, now I'm going to clarify, and I'm going to clarify with the Mona Lisa deck, just to see if we can get a handle and get some perspective on our situation. Let's see if we can get some clarity cards. So I'm asking for some clarity cards for Capricorn person. What do we have for clarity cards for Capricorn person? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'm guided to take this one. Okay, that's for Capricorn person. What do we have as clarity cards for the factors against the career? Can we have a definite clarifying card for the factors that are against career, so to speak? You know, our concerns, the worries, the fears. Can we have a clarity card for the factors against our career? I'm looking for one card. Do you have a clarifying card for that? The factors against our career. What do Capricorns need to know? Thank you. I'm going to take this one. I feel compelled to take this one. This one's came back. He's back. Right now. Can we have a clarifying card for past influences? What does our past influences say? We get more clarity on the family affairs, the family matter, you know, our security in terms of our family. A lot of energy here. We're looking for one card. I requested clarity card for our past influences. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Can we have a clarity card for our future, for career, for Capricorn? Thank you. Okay. What about the course of action? Anything we need to know more about the course of action? What do Capricorns need to know about the course of action? Because this is weighing heavily upon all the Capricorn souls, is the course of action. You know, what course of action do we need to take apart from slaving away and, you know, having our foot on the rudder? What else do we need to know on the course of action? Do you have a course of action clarifying card? Thank you for that. Right now, let's see if we can get a clarifying card for that white collar employee, that person that's also where we should be and working hard and keeps on going. What do we have for the people, for the Capricorn people, in terms of their career? In these uncertain times. I asked my spirit guide what card we have for the people of Capricorn. What do the people of Capricorn need to know so they can stay firm during this uncertain time? Thank you. Thank my spirit guide for that. Right now, if we can have a clarifying card for the outcome the outcome. What about the outcome? What about all this energy that's been put into thinking about the outcome of our situation for the Capricorn souls? What about the outcome? Can we have a clarifying card for the outcome, please? You're working hard. Capricorn souls are working hard. They're spending an awful lot of energy on the outcome, their career outcome, in this uncertain time. Thank you. Right, thank you. Okay, so the Capricorn person, our person, is the Emperor, who is stable and who, can handle whatever he's been put through. And it's paired off with Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, which tells us that, we stand firm, Capricorn stand firm, and, they're very stable people. But our clarifying card suggests that we must be careful of our actions today, that we don't have regrets for tomorrow. So I think, whatever way we look at the situation, whatever way we look at our career, we are firm, Capricorns are firm, they are stable, but be careful of making rash decisions, okay, that can affect you. That can affect, it can affect the person, the Capricorn person. You don't want to be affected in any way. So just be mindful of the decisions you make. Okay? That's what the cards are telling us. Be mindful of the decisions you make, because they could have regrets for tomorrow. Okay? That's the Seven of Pentacles. Now the factors against our career. We spoke of money being a factor. We spoke of, can't see the woods for the trees because we're worrying. Okay? There you are. We're worrying. All the Capricorn people are worried. What are we going to do? What about our investments? What about our salary? What about our significant other? What about paying, the bills? What about our pension? What about our provident fund? We're worrying about, you're really concerned and worrying about all that. And rightfully so. And we've paired this off with the Magician, which tells you that we have got a lot of resources. We can tap right deep down into our gut, into our inner being. There's a lot of resources there. We've got a lot of resources. We've got a lot of power within. So it's, it's telling you to, just go within and, don't be too overly concerned. It's good to be concerned, but I think we just need to retract a bit and to examine our lot, I think that's what's required here. Don't overreact. Don't overreact. Examine your lot. Examine exactly, what you've got, where you're going to. You still have a job, fine. You still have a business, fine. So I think we just need to, consider that. And then our past influences, I said our past influences are, we're worried about our significant other, okay? And we've paired it off with the Ten of Swords, which suggests that traditions are not easily slain. The dragon of traditions are not easily slain. So yes, we understand our lot. We understand that we want to look after our significant other, and we understand that, we need money to do that. We need an income. We need that business to do well. We need to serve our customers if we're in that industry. Or if we're a white-collar employee, we need our salary as well. And yes, the dragons of tradition are not easily slain. We like to keep, we don't want to sort of like go back. We don't want to take 2 steps back. We'd rather take 2 steps forward. So, yes, I get it. You're worried about your family. You're worried about your significant other. And yeah, sometimes it's not a good idea to, or we don't think it's a good idea to, take 2 steps back. So we're worried about pretty much of keeping our upkeep, keeping our finances on par to the life that we've become accustomed to. I understand all that. But yeah, just put things into perspective. Don't make a rash decision, something that you're going to regret. Okay? In our future, I said we're stable. This was the 9 of Cups. It's a stability card. And we've paired it off with the 2 of Chalices. Okay? There you see the 2 of Chalices. You got the stability card as well, the 9 of Cups. And here it is, you've got to, I think you have to take matters in your own hand, especially when it comes to your significant other, or, perhaps this is a lady or a man that you're involved with, or you're courting, or, it could be friends first, or whatever. Maybe you're living together, you're not married. You need to just buckle down now, because, we've got to put things into perspective. This card says choose your partners wisely, but I think, in this spread, the message here is whether you have to cut down, whether you cannot live the lifestyle you've been accustomed to for the time being until we're over this hurdle, so be it. So I think that the message here is to just take heed. Pardon me, don't live above your expenses. Don't live above your means. Be reasonable and be realistic about it. Rather just, put your money, in the bank, keep it there, and, let's buy the necessities and keep the house afloat. But, don't spend unnecessarily, and don't be extravagant. And, our partner needs to be understanding where this is concerned, because we're going through, pretty tough times at the moment. So until this is past, until this pandemic's over, just be conservative with your money, and your partner needs to understand that. Yeah. The course of action to be taken, I said we are, pardon me, got the 8 of Cups here, where I said that the course of action is to carry on doing what you're doing, carry on working, whether you're working from as a silo at home, whether you're going into the office and you're working as skeleton staff, whatever the case may be. I don't know what environment you're in, but this suggests perhaps you're either in a white collar environment where you work for an employee and you're an employer, or you have a business of your own, or you're an executive. So it's paired off with the 9 of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, it's paired off with the 9 of Pentacles. So even small gifts, even the smallest cost saving you can get, doesn't matter what it is. Perhaps it's cutting down your insurance, taking out an insurance that is reasonable. Perhaps it's paying your bond, even though money's tight. Put something in your bond. Carry on, sort of like keep up the upkeep of your home, but don't extend yourself. But yeah, you've got to just play around with your money. You've got to make do with what you've got. Okay, it's small mercies. Make do with what you have and keep the ship afloat. That's what needs to be done now. Nothing drastic. Don't do anything drastic. You don't want to be, you don't want to be in a situation where you're going to regret. And in terms of our people, yeah, as I say, we've the white-collared employee is doing his bit. She's doing her bit. He's doing his bit. We're working hard. We holding the meetings, whether it's we're working as a silo at home, or whether we're going into the office, or whether we calling through and keeping the ship afloat, and calling your employees, and keeping everything where it should be. That's what we're doing at the moment, and I think we are doing that. All Capricorns are doing that, and it's hard. We've drawn that with the Hierophant, but in this deck it speaks of we don't want to change. There's an aversion to change, but in this instance we don't have an option. We've got to keep the ship afloat. So you've got to be the captain of the ship, and you've got to just think logically. Don't overextend yourself. Pay what you need to pay. Buy food, do what you have to do, pay your bond, carry on doing what you have to do within your means, but don't live outside of your means, because then we're going to have regrets, and it's not going to be good. We won't be able to catch up. We won't be able to catch up the losses, especially if we overextend now. And then the outcome, as I say, we extend. There's a lot of energy being put into this matter. We're really putting a lot of energy into keeping what we have, whether that's to do with the finances we have left in the bank, whether that's to do with the job we have, whether that's to do with you owning your own business, or starting out your own business, starting out on your own. Just put energy into whatever your aspect is. Put energy into it. Try and keep things, on track, on par, and otherwise, we don't want to have a tendency where we let things go, because we're at home now and we've got this pandemic and we're on lockdown. Be communicative. Phone, email, speak to your employees. Speak to your employees, and also speak to workers if you have a business. Pick up the phone and speak to your workers and tell them, this is what it is. We're going to do this. This is the way we're going to move forward. And you'll reap the rewards. And because there's a 10 of chalices here, you're going to reap the rewards on decisions you make that you made today. You'll reap the rewards tomorrow. There you can see it there. This woman gave up her baby, and years later, she put her baby at someone's door, and years later she's having a look now and seeing, the welfare of her child, and she sees that her child has been taken good care of. That's a decision she made, and now she's quite happy within her mind that she made that decision. So that's what I'm telling you to do. Just carry on putting that energy into what you're doing. Put your part into it, and let it play out that way. Okay. Don't take your eye off the ball. Don't take your eye off the goals there. Okay. So now I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot deck. I'm going to pull some more clarity cards on the Psychic Tarot deck. And see what messages we have. That's for Capricorn person. That's for who we are. Who you are. Let's see what it... Oopsie. It's too much. Sorry. Okay, let's pick this up. Sorry about that. Let's see the factors against our working situation. Thank you for that. This is a factor against. It's another clarifying card. Okay. Here so you can best read it right. Our past influences. What clarifying card do we have for our past influences? We're looking for a clarifying card. Thank you. I should just move these over in case you're not able to see. You're looking for a clarifying card for the future, for our financial future. What do we have as an extra clarifying card for Capricorn's financial future? Thank my spirit guide for that. Okay, lovely. Now let's see what clarifying card we have for the course of action. Thank you for that. It's a course of action. card, our people. Thank you. It's a clarifying card for our people, for Capricorn, for our people. And we're looking for something for the outcome. We're looking for another clarifying card for the outcome. That can be paired with a 10 of chalices. And we've got it. Thank you. Right now. So for Capricorn, for the person, be stable. We need to be mindful of the decisions we make today, which could, alter our future. And that is coupled with balance. And here I said, the Emperor is a balanced person, okay? You're balanced. Don't make a rash decision that you're going to regret for tomorrow. And we've clarified that with the Psychic Tarot, which is all about be balanced. So I think that's just an extra clarification on the Emperor that we pulled. Now, factors against our situation, that were against our situation. I spoke about money. I said, we can't see the woods for money. I said that we've got the the Magician. We've got power within us to withstand this. Okay, we can withstand the factors quite easily. Okay, but we need to make movement, choices, and decisions, okay? Now, I tend to feel that these movement, choices, and decisions are to do with your, in terms of your finances, okay? Whether that's to do with, cutting back on, checking out your investments, perhaps cutting back on your insurance, your car insurance, your household insurance, perhaps it's a funeral policy that you need to look into, sort of overlook those things. Have a good look where you can save costs and where you can cut down. So it's all about movements and choices and decisions. So that's a big one. Okay, so then our past influences. Hang on, sorry, 3. Our past influences. Right. Let's just see. So it was a Capricorn person. It was your factors against this matter. It was our past influences were here. No, I haven't looked at those. That's quite right. So we spoke about your family. You're overly concerned about your family. And I say that, traditions, we like to keep what we've been used to. We like to keep the lifestyle we've been accustomed to. Okay? And, that's important for us. But, at some stage, especially now, we've got to emotionally withdraw, and you've got to go within, and you've got to, really look at your situation, look at it critically, and look at it logically. Okay, so start thinking about things. I know you're interested in keeping the family together. You're interested in having enough money, for your family, of course. But you just need to go within, and you need to see what's important and see what do you need to make do with, and what can you do without? I think that's a message. Yeah, that's definitely a message. And then, of course, our future. I said the future was stable, irrespective of the pandemic. Yes, and I said, we need to choose our partners wisely. And the cards telling you that perhaps it's, some things we're going to have to cut down on, okay? And you're just going to have to make that decision, irrespective of what your partner feels. They need to be understanding about this matter. And you know what? And by you doing this, you're going to rejoice and celebrate. Because when this pandemic's over and things are back to normal, you're going to have made the right decision. So, I think that's a good thing. I think, just, be conservative now so that you can look back and reflect and say, you know what, we came through this and we're all fine. Our course of action, we said it's stability. We're staying. We're working at what we need to. We need to be mindful of cutting things down and offering small gestures, as opposed to offering fancy gifts. And our foundation and our achievements are going to withstand our course of action. So I think that's a good thing. I think, you know, we just need to, you know,